So this video is going to show us how to convert and find the empirical formula. Now it says in your paper that you can ignore sig figs. So in this case, because we are ignoring sig figs, what you can do is just do 2 decimal places. All right. So when we have an empirical formula, it is the lowest possible form of a compound where subscripts cannot be simplified down anymore. What that means is, say we have C2H6. We have 2 and we have 6. Let's make it a ratio. This 2 to 6 can always be reduced down to 1 and 3 so that it is CH3. So this C2H6 is not the empirical formula. The CH3 is the empirical formula because it's the most reduced version. Same way with C2O4. 2 to 4 can be reduced down to 1 to 2. And then we have CO2. So C2O4 is not the empirical formula. It's not reduced all the way down. CO2 is reduced down as far as possible. The way we're going to do this is we're going to follow the steps. I'm going to do practice number 1, walk you through the steps, and then you get to try the rest of it yourself. For step 1, it says change percentages to grams. So what I do is I literally just mark out a percentage and put G for grams. Mark out the percentage, G for grams. And then I convert to each individually to moles. Should say convert each. So then I read my problem. A compound contains 38.67 grams of carbon, 16.22 grams of hydrogen, and the remainder is nitrogen. Find the empirical formula. Well, the remainder is out of 100, so the remainder, if I do some math, tells me it's 45.11%, which I change the percentage to grams. The step 2 says to convert each individually to moles. So 38.67 grams of carbon, I'm going to convert that to moles. There's me doing carbon, 38.67 grams. Converting this to moles would be 1 mole at the top. And then I find grams so that they can cancel out. Grams of carbon, remember, so it's 12.01. Do my math and my answer is 3.22. Now for hydrogen, 16.22% hydrogen, so 16.22 grams. Grams cancel out, moles at the top, 1 mole. Grams of hydrogen, which is 1.008. Answer here is 16.09. And then the last one is the remainder is nitrogen. Nitrogen, that's 45.11. Convert 1 mole at the top, grams at the bottom, so my units can cancel out. It's 14.01 grams of nitrogen. 3.22 is my answer. Now, step 3 says to divide by the lowest answer. So I take the answer choices that I've been given, and I'm going to pick the lowest answer of the 3 choices. 3.22 is the lowest of the answers. I'm going to divide by the lowest answer. So divide all of these by the lowest one. 3.22. 3.22. 3.22. And then I get my answer. Here is 1. 16.09 divided by 3.22 gives me 4.99. And then this gives me 1. And then step 4 says turn ratios into whole numbers. Well, this is a ratio right here. 1 is my answer. That's already a whole number. 4.99 is my ratio. That's not a whole number. So it says here end in 0.9, round to whole number. So I'm just going to round this to 5. 1, already a whole number, so I'm going to leave it alone. All right. Now that we have this, we've got our answer. These are ratios. Mathematically, we found the mole ratio, and we were able to find that in the formula, there's 1 C, there's 5 of the H's, so I would write H5, and then there's 1 N, so N. what happens when you do all this math is when you find moles and then you divide by the lowest of the answers, you're finding the ratio of the moles. And the ratio tells you that there's just one of the C's. There's 5 times the amount of H's compared to everything else. So that's why it's H5 and then N1. All right. If you feel confident, do 2, 3, and 4. If not, I'm going to walk us through doing number 2. Says I have a sample with 43.64% phosphorus, 56.36% oxygen. Find the empirical formula. So go through my steps again. Step 1, change percentages to grams. Literally marking out percentages and changing them to grams. Step 2, convert each individually to moles. So individually, there's phosphorus, which is 43.64 grams. I'm converting it to moles. So 1 mole at the top, 30.97 at the bottom. This gives me 1.41. And oxygen. Oxygen is 56.36 grams. 1 mole at the top, 16.00 grams, 3.52. Step 3, divide by the lowest answer. Here are my answer choices, right? Divide by the lowest of them. 1.41 is the lowest. Get my answer. The first one is 1. The second answer is going to be 2.50. Now it says, step 4, turn ratios into whole numbers. Well, 1 is already a whole number, so I leave it alone. And then I look here at 2.50. If it ends in 0.5, it says multiply all ratios by 2, then round to whole number. So I'm going to take all of these ratios and multiply them by 2 so that I can get a whole number out of it. Top one is 2, bottom one is 5. That's already a whole number, so I leave it alone. And now I know that my formula should have 2 of the P's and 5 of the O's. P2O5. All right. Again, if you feel confident, you should find the answer, and if not, then you should keep working through the problems. For the next one, 1,6-diaminohexane is used to make nylon. What is the empirical formula of this compound if you have these percentages? So when I'm doing this, I again go through the steps. Step 1 is to change percentages to grams. Percentages, grams. And then I convert each individually to moles. So carbon, 62.1 divided by 12.01 grams, because that's the mass of carbon. My answer here is 5.17. Next is hydrogen, 13.8 grams. My answer here is 13.69. N is 24.1 grams. The mass of an N is 14.01. Do my math, and I get 1.72. Now that I've got this, I do step 3, which is divide by the lowest answer. Well, of the answers, my lowest one is 1.72. So divide by 1.72. The top one will get me 3.01. Bottom will get me 7.96. Bottom will get me 1. This 3.01 is close enough to 3 that we're just going to round. 7.96, well, it ends in 0.9, so we're going to round it to a whole number, which is 8. And this is already 1, so we're going to leave it at 1. Now we take those numbers and plug it into the formula. 3 C's, 8 H's, 1 N. All right, for the very